There seems to be a pandemic, and not the one that you think. If you are a retro gaming fan, such as I, myself, then you probably noticed a recent trend as of anytime you go on YouTube and look up retro gaming. That is, everybody seems to be talking about DK Oldies. If you don't know DK Oldies, DK Oldies, if you don't know who they are, they're a retro gaming store. I'm not sure where they're located, but they got an eBay shop, and you can buy it directly from them or on their website. And everybody and their mama is making a video about them. Uh, and I didn't want to do that, and that's basically why I didn't title this video anything about DK Oldies. I just wanted to make it a basic video, but it's about them, but it's also about something else that has to do with them. Just to give you a quick synopsis of their reputation, DK Oldies is a retro gaming store where you can buy stuff like Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, you name it, they got it for the most part. And they have ridiculously high prices. Go check on their website, whatever. Their prices are ridiculously high. But the other half of it is that they don't really refurbish their consoles like they say they do. And I want to cover some of that and some of the other stuff that is an issue with not only them, but just the whole thing surrounding them. Like, they got kind of a buzz going on right now, and it's not for the reason you think. Before, it was for the reason of that, they're like looked upon as like scam artists. Like, they pretend that they care about the gamers by saying, hey, we refurbish our consoles. Hey, they got this guy on their videos. You've seen his face. His name is Joey. He's not really in charge. He's like their spokesperson. A lot of people think he's in charge, but he's not. He's like the spokesperson. Some other guy's in charge. I don't know his name. I'm going to look it up real quick. All right, so I did find his name. The guy's name is Drew. He's the owner of it, and Scott, who's also the owner. Here's a picture of Drew and his family. The guy who owns the company. Here's Scott, his friend to the far left, Drew, when they were little. They put these pictures up to pretty much like solidify the fact, yeah, we grew up in the 80s and that we love old retro video games. Great, awesome, fantastic. The thing is, though, that they put on their website, and I read it and say, like, basically they're saying, like, nowadays there's so many modded things and reproduction carts of games and things like that, and we want to have the authentic games that you remember growing up as a kid. Great, fantastic, wonderful. Only problem with that is that they're not charging the old prices from like back in the day. Like when games were like $59.99, or if you had Nintendo 64, it's $70. I'm really sure my age. They're charging way more than they were back then. I mean, that's the thing about DK Oldies, is that a lot of people they get on them about this. Not saying it's right. I don't want to make it paint it seem like like it's not that bad. It is bad. It's terrible. I've never bought anything from them, and I never will. The thing is, it's kind of like they punish you, and not just them. A lot of retro sellers punish the younger people who didn't grow up in the early 2000s, the early 90s to the early 2000s. If you weren't born in the late 80s to early 90s, or heck, even like the mid 90s, and you didn't have like an older sibling or a parent who was a gamer and didn't show you like GameCube, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, Super NES, whatever, then it's sort of like you get punished for it because you couldn't buy it back then because you weren't either born or you were too little to know to buy these things. So now, if you do get interested in these things, now you have to shell out triple, quadruple the amount that it was originally. Me, I was born in the late 80s. I have old games from back in the day. I have like Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Saturn, things like that. But even when it comes to things like Sega Saturn, I have a Japanese Saturn because the Saturn prices are ridiculous. But I'm getting off topic here. Point being is, they kind of paint this picture that they care about their customers, but they don't, because they sell consoles that are not refurbished correctly. They say they are, but they're not. They don't work. they are in poor condition. They're chipped. Now, granted, these are like 30-plus-year-old consoles. These are like Super Nintendos. I mean, these things have seen some years. Okay, these things are old. Okay, they're really old. Um, but it's the way I think what really annoys people about them is that they portray themselves, especially with their spokesperson Joey, who's not in charge. He's just a guy he's just the social media personality. They portray him as like this happy-go-lucky company that's like, yeah, we're for the gamers, and they have like quirky little videos. I ain't gonna lie, they're interesting to watch. When they put games together and put them in consoles. I ain't gonna lie, it helps to kill a couple of minutes while I'm at work watching those videos. Point being is that it all feels really fake because their prices say otherwise about how they feel. It's like if you don't pony up certain amounts of money, then you're not going to buy anything from them. Now, I don't buy anything from them, but I would like to say they aren't the only ones doing this. If you go on eBay and you go look at prices for games, it's been like this for years. It's been like this for years. And I want to say that this is partially so it's YouTube's fault. I'm not gonna lie. Things like the Game Chasers, retro gaming as a culture is to blame. Because it wasn't intentional, but when we started talking about games like Little Nemo, the Dream Master, and the Flintstones game on the NES and stuff like that, the Game Chasers, stuff like that, we started bringing attention to how rare these games are. You know what that does? It makes people who have these games go like, oh crap, I could make a pretty good profit off this, and then there goes the prices, they shoot up. So, yeah, they're not good, but it's kind of like we help create DK Oldies. You see, by showing off our collections and saying, look how rare this game is. It's kind of like that. But the other side of it, also, I want to get into is that DK Oldies, I don't like them. I don't at all. But you have a lot of YouTubers. I'm not going to say any names, but you know who you are, who make a lot of content based off of their screw ups, based off the fact that they're not looked upon greatly. If you go on YouTube right now, in fact, we're going to look right now. We're just going to type in, DK Oldies real quick. And you'll see you'll just see a lot of videos talking crap about them. And you know what that also does? It gets them publicity. Lots of publicity. Because the old adage, any publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter if you're talking crap about them. Doesn't matter. If you want them to stop talking about them. Don't talk about them anymore. Don't mention them. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Joey's face in a video that isn't DK Oldies. Just his face plastered on the thumbnail. And that makes people think, oh crap, I'm gonna buy it from them. Heck, Little Yachty bought a game from them. He bought like a Sega Dreamcast, that, and Marvel vs. Capcom too. I mean, he's rich. He's a rapper, so he spent like at least $1,000, probably well over that, to get that little bundle. And DK Oldies doesn't help the situation either, because if you spend a certain amount of money, they don't say it, but if you spend a certain amount of money, they'll film it. And that entices people because people want to be famous. Because people nowadays, on social media, people want to be famous. They want to get that fame. They want a piece of that pie, that piece of that social media goodness. So they entice people. Hey, you spend at least $500, we might film you if you request it. And then people are just ready to don't ask questions. The console might not even work. It might not work, considering how many videos are up about, crappily they're refurbishing refurbishing, whatever, in quotations. Now, how do you rectify this? Because you got to bring attention to the crappy business practices. But again, if you keep talking about them, it's just going to send more attention their way. And they love it. They like it. They like screwing up like this because they know, as bad as people are making them look, there's going to be people out there who's like, well, let me buy something from DK Oldies and see if it doesn't work, and then I can make a complaint video about it, and then the cycle just continues, and like it's sort of like the YouTuber. Like, okay, the point I was trying to make is certain YouTubers will make videos about them saying, "Oh, I bought this from DK Oldies. Oh, I bought that from DK Oldies." One time, that's fine. You bought it once, and if it worked, great. You had a good customer experience with them. But if you didn't, let's say you bought a Nintendo 64 and it didn't work, and then you buy an Xbox 360 from them and it didn't work. Why'd you buy another console from them again? If you know if you had a bad experience with them and you're complaining about it, you made that choice to buy from them after you knew that there's a chance that the console wouldn't work. And I'll tell you why. Because you need the content. And it's like it's feeding itself. This whole situation is feeding itself. They screw up. The YouTubers make videos about it, and the cycle continues, and nothing gets better. Nothing gets resolved. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened. Remember how long? Remember, like, it was a couple years ago when people kept making GameStop as crappy videos and stuff like that. I think I made one. I don't think I made one. I made one about them that they might be going under. That was it. That was the only video I made about them, was that they were going under. That was it. I didn't say, like, I bought this game from GameStop and it sucked, and I bought another game from them. I'm like, I bought this game from GameStop and it's broken. It's like, no. It's like, one time that fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's that old adage. If you want them to stop, then stop. But I really don't think they want them to stop. I really don't think that they want DK Oldies to get back to get better. Because if it got better, there would be no videos for them to make. They'd have to find something else to hate. They'd have to find something else to hate. And that's all my real point is of this video, is that I don't like really talking about stuff like this when it comes to video games. I just like making gaming content about the games, because I really feel like YouTube has strayed away, YouTube gaming has strayed away from the actual games. It's really just about the controversy and the drama nowadays. And it's kind of sucks, but I just felt in my gaming heart to put this out and be like, if you want them to stop, then stop supporting them. If you bought 2 consoles from them, and those consoles aren't cheap, you paid $100, $200 for a 64. That's on you, because I can go on eBay right now and go find a Nintendo 64 for like $50, $60, console only with the cords and all that stuff, or just console only. I think with like the cords and the power adapter is probably like 80, something like that. Point being, I could go on eBay. And I think the thing is, because I see people like in the comment section about DK Oldies and be like, well, that's why I like shopping from them, because an eBay is not guaranteed that's going to work. It's like, it is if it's from a reputable seller. eBay is not just one store, it's a bunch of different sellers. And if you look at their negative to positive ratio, you can determine whether or not you want to take a risk on buying something from them. I always go for someone who's got like at least 99% positivity on eBay when I'm buying anything from them. But point being, that whole argument about saying that, that's why I bought from DK Oldies, because, it's going to work, and eBay, you never know what you're getting. No, it's not true, because eBay's got a really, really strict policy. If you lie about something that you sold to somebody, they'll make it so you can't sell on there for a while. They'll ban you for a little bit, and it hurts your credibility. So, thing is that if you want them to stop buying from them. I'm not talking about the regular folks. I'm talking about like YouTubers and social. If you're a celebrity like Lil Yachty and you're buying something from them, that you got the money. Hey, go do you. But if you're gonna make a channel or a video and say I bought this from them and it sucks and I'm mad now, it's like that was on you, not the first time. The first time, that's on them. They're crappy. But you learned your lesson, or at least you should have learned your lesson, to not buy from them. And then you buy again and again and again. And you keep making videos talking crap about them, and you keep giving them attention. Stop giving them attention. Don't give them anymore. You want them to go away. You want them to stop doing what they're doing. Speak with your wallets and speak with silence. Okay? And they'll go away. And hopefully. I don't know. I don't know. But it's better than making videos about them, because they're going to keep doing what they're doing. Why change if what they're doing now is giving them attention? Positive. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative attention. Attention is attention, and they got it. They got a bunch of it. Like, Joey is like the poster child now of bad business gaming practices. Okay? So that was my video. That was my little rant about this whole DK Oldies situation. You want them to stop buying from them. I better not see you make a video about, hey, I bought this console and it broke, and then you make another one and it's like the same thing. Just stop it. Anyway, I'll be back with more fighting game stuff. I think tomorrow Nintendo's about to do a Nintendo Direct about some new games coming out. I'm going to be covering that. I just wanted to make this video, and peace out. And, play games, all that stuff. Stop with all the crappy DK Oldies videos. It's getting on my nerves. Anyway, bye.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. Me, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you. Come on. Make way for the bad guy. There's a bad guy coming through. Better get out